Well, good Wednesday afternoon, everyone. This is Preacher Scott from New Home Baptist Church. Coming to you a little bit late today. I've had some technical difficulties with my phone trying to get started recording. Want to tell you again that Ronnie Walters came through his surgery well. They didn't find any cancer anywhere else. He's doing well. He's in recovery now, and he will be in the hospital for a few days. So pray for Mr. Ronnie and continue to lift him up. And hey, I also want to tell you, thank you so much for praying for Lisa as she went today to check her leg out to make sure she didn't have a blood clot before her surgery tomorrow, and everything checked out good. So they do have her on schedule, and she's excited to be ready to get that gallbladder out that's been causing her problems. So some of you have already called, others have sent texts. We thank you so much for that, and she's doing good. I've actually been working on her Mother's Day present today. I've been putting some trees in the yard, and want to show you what I've been working on there. And don't know, my phone's not working just right, so maybe you can see them behind me here. I've been putting some trees in a row on the side of the yard here, and they look real nice so far. I've got a few more to do, so I hope I can get them in before dark tonight. So it's just a snapshot of what I've been working on, and I've got some more to do there. So hey, I want to take some time to talk about my wife a little bit, being Mother's Day is coming up this weekend. And men, if you hadn't already got your wife something or doing something special for her, then you better get going. You only got about 4 days to make it happen. So I'm going to stick you back on the tripod here. Lisa is such a wonderful person, such a selfless person, and she does so much for others behind the scenes that you don't see, and maybe I don't even see. And she's a loving, kind soul, and she's put up with me for almost 32 years, plus we dated 7.5 years before that, so we've been together almost 40 years. And she is just an inspiration to me each and every day, and she makes me complete. And you guys, I'm sure you feel that with your own wives. We don't tell them enough, but we should tell them, men, how important they are to us. During this time of sickness with her, I've been close to her, but maybe not as close as I should be, you know, because what would life be without her? What would my life be if each one of us didn't have the other? You know, we make each one complete, and I'm sure you feel that. I picked out some scripture verses, and we may cover these on Sunday as well, since it's being Mother's Day, but I'm sure there's some others that we're going to cover. But from Proverbs 31, and I want to read these to you. And I think the first time I ever heard these verses, my grandfather used them in a service, and he was talking about mothers. But it doesn't just include mothers, it includes all ladies. There's a lot of ladies out there that don't have children of their own for whatever reason. God did not bless them to have their own children, but they're still, nonetheless, they're mother figures, and they're loving women, loving ladies who do so much for others. And we have some of them in our own congregation. We have some of them in our communities. And God has not blessed my daughter yet with a child, but we're still praying for that. We're praying for God's will of whatever that would look like, whether they have a child of their own, Casey and Zane, or if they adopt, or something else may occur. So we're just praying for them, and I know that I've mentioned that before, and I thank you for your prayers. But each and every lady is created in the image of God, just like we are as men. And they are important to us, men, aren't they? They are an inspiration to us each and every day. And the kindness, the gentleness, the loving that a lady has is different than that of a man. And the softness, the tenderness, not only in their skin and the feeling in their hands, the way they look, the daintiness of themselves, but they're tough and stern and strong-willed. And that's exactly how God made them. So let's look at Proverbs 31. This will be a little bit short, but that's okay on a Wednesday night. Proverbs 31, beginning in verse 10. And I think it's amazing that God finished Proverbs talking about the ladies, talking about mothers, talking about women, and how special they are. You know, there's 31 chapters of Proverbs, and he finished it out in 31, the last verses. Beginning in verse 10, he says, "Who can find a virtuous and capable wife? She is more precious than rubies. Her husband can trust her, and she will greatly enrich her life." I can say that about my wife, and I'm sure you can as well. It says she brings him good and not harm all the days of her life. She finds wool and flax and busily spins it. She is like a merchant ship bringing her food from afar. She gets up before dawn to prepare breakfast for her household and plan the day's work for her servant girls. She goes to inspect the field and buys it with her earnings. She plants a vineyard, meaning that she serves her family selflessly, meaning that she doesn't buy things for her own self, but for others. I can remember when our kids were small and Lisa would shop, she would shop for them, not for herself. She goes to inspect the field and buys it with the earnings. She plants a vineyard. She is energetic and strong, a hard worker. She makes sure her dealings are profitable. Her lamp burns late into the night. Well, we know that's true. Sometimes our wives are the first ones up and the last ones to go to bed. They're busily caring for the needs of the family. Her hands are busy spinning thread, her fingers twisting fiber. She extends a helping hand to the poor and opens her arms to the needy. Many of you ladies do that each and every day. You've done it so often that it's just what you do. You don't want any credit for it. You don't even sometimes realizing that you're doing it, but opening your arms to the needy. In verse 21, it says she has no fear of winter, for her household, for everyone has warm clothes. She makes her own bedspreads. She dresses in fine linen and purple gowns. Her husband is well known at the city gates, where he sits with the other civic leaders, meaning she takes care of the home while the husband can serve in the community. She makes belted linen garments and sashes to sell to merchants. She is clothed with strength and dignity, and she laughs without fear of the future, because she knows that God holds the future. When she speaks, her words are wise, and she gives instruction with kindness. She carefully watches everything in her household and suffers nothing from laziness. Her children stand and bless her, and her husband praises her. There are many virtuous and capable women in the world, but you surpass them all. Well, I'm saying this about Lisa, but I hope you can say it about your own spouse. Charm is deceptive and beauty does not last, but a woman who fears the Lord will be greatly praised. Reward her for all she has done. Let her deeds publicly declare her praise. Well, I know Lisa will watch this later, and she's already not happy that I asked you to be in prayer for her on Sunday, so she won't be happy about this either, but I really hope that she knows how much I love her. Guys, make sure you tell your wives. Young men, make sure you tell your girlfriends how important they are to you. Fathers and grandfathers, make sure you tell your daughters and granddaughters that they are fearfully and wonderfully made, and that you love them and that you're proud of them, and God made them exactly as they are. Hey, God bless you. Hope you have a great Wednesday night, and just know that Lisa and I love you, and we covet your prayers tomorrow as we have to be in Charlotte for her surgery at 10 a.m. God bless you. Hope you have a great rest of your week, and I'll see you on Friday morning with a short nature devotion. Take care. And hey, we hope to see you in God's house on Sunday. Invite your families to come and join in with us as we have a special Mother's Day time. And then as we finish part 2 of the message that we started last week, Faith When Life Just Doesn't Make Sense. Take care and have a great night.